The announcer was so good. It's just so good. This man never sleeps. Dude, guys, my output these last couple of days has been tremendous. I'm trying to stay alive, so I have this green smoothie that I'm consuming. Ah, how you doing, guys? What's up? You like the subathon rewards? Hell yeah. You love the leveling videos. Mucho excelente, por favor. Maxroll just released its tier list. I'm a little bit surprised at how many Necro endgame builds they put in S tier. I will be very, very, very surprised if all three of these are actually S tier builds. I'm going to be very, very, very surprised. Very interested to see how they're going to do the Goblin Blaster. I wonder if they're still going to go with Victimize. So we don't need a Fractured Winter Ass anymore. And it looks like he dropped Frozen Orb out of it as well. Hmm. You won the free VOH Ultimate Edition? Hell yeah. Oh, I don't have the music going, I just realized. Oops. Yeah, where is Spotify? Well, Crip played Minion Necro and he said he already got it to Pit 80, which is pretty far into World Tier or Torment 4. Minion Necro for me is A tier. What are the S tier builds? Here's the initial guess from Maxroll. I don't know if Bone Spirit I expected to be S tier, but I don't really like to play this build. But I'm very surprised that all three of these are S tier. Macro must be cooking. Yo, we picked up Karn. Karn is on Maxroll now? I didn't know that. Goratha is on Maxroll? Karn looks very happy to be alive in this picture. Did you know that MB Extreme won a Ninja Warrior competition? This guy's a god. Have I considered a guitar stream? I really haven't because I never play the guitar anymore, man. I played the guitar for 60 seconds like 2 days ago because someone asked. What build am I running to start the season? I think I'm going to go Centipede. I'm either going to go Centipede or Eagle, but I'm thinking about going Centipede. They're both very good. Look at that picture of Chronix. Look how professional that is.
Kirk is always at Wendy's every time.
What happened?
Kirk is always at Wendy's every time I message him. He just taking the Wendy's diet to heart.
Don't they have the Krabby Patty meal coming? God, I can't wait to get that. This guy looks like Vladimir Kramnik Jr. Like, this is Vladimir Kramnik. Isn't that Vladimir Kramnik Jr.?
Oh my god. Yeah, it probably is.
Oh my god, dude.
I was gonna say which one, and then I didn't need to.
Where's my picture? Let's see if I'm here. Under management. Damn, look how important I am. Nah, don't think. What happened to the previous CEO? Honestly, the previous CEO works there and is still does everything, but he wants everyone to think it's me for some reason, so here I am. How are the Dark Citadel T4 cosmetics earned? You have to beat all 3 wings. Rob thinks Spiritborn is 5x stronger than any other class across the board. Do you agree? I don't know if I would put a multiplier to it, but I think the Spiritborn is the best class by far. Will I fight to unite undisputed and interim CEO belts? Did you guys watch Alex Pereira fight last night? That was actually a very good fight. Is there an in-game voice chat? I actually don't know. I didn't check that. Looking forward to the new stuff. Hell yeah, Mr. Recon. Hell yeah, man. Simzim, Marcel, Nero, Heal Me, Burke, Velocitator, Sex is good. The villain. What's up, guys? Okay, Vince says there is. Okay, there is. Okay. Can I play Viva Lobos in E minor on classical? Never heard of it. But Viva Lobos. Lobos is wolves. Live the wolves live. Who's my favorite guitar player? Probably Ewan Dobson. Hey boss, aka Mr. Interim. Pfft. I'm a nobody, guys. It looks like the new layout for these guides looks super nice. This is pretty much exactly the same thing that I picked, except I picked this path for the movement speed. When are they going to make the build guide links live? Some of them are already going live right now. Some of them are already live. We can look at them. Like Quill Volley is already up. I'm going to assume almost all of them will be up before tomorrow. I'll put it up tomorrow, Mind Freak. I'll have it up. Orwin Barb did Pit 142. Nice. What exactly do I do in Maxroll? Well, honestly, my role is very, very diminished nowadays. Before I was a founding member of Maxroll. I did uh everything except the development part. So I was team lead of making entire new games and starting branches. I wrote 1,000,000 guides. I edited 1,000,000,000 guides. I was the team leader. I was the trainer. I made a bunch of the templates. I mean, anything. Maxwell launched as only D3. So we built the D3 section first, but then we built Diablo 2, Diablo Immortal, Lost Ark. I mean, we have a lot of games now. D4, WoW, Throne and Liberty, PoE, Last Epoch, Diablo 3, Diablo 2, Lost Ark, Torchlight, Destiny 2. We also have there's also mini branches. There's also Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Hades 2, Once Human. No, King of Nothing. We're going to put them into a bracket, and you guys are going to vote, and there's going to be 4 left. Why did I quit? I had too many things going on. Too many things to do in a day. The website is pretty good. You like the UI and how it's presented? Thank you. We try. We try. It just got a whole new update. T1 Ancestral Mythic. This new note thing is quite nice. The table of contents looks like it has an update. You can see like the actual graphics of it are very punchy and high res. You can't believe they added more altars of Lilith. There's no more altars of Lilith. They added tenets of Akarat, but they don't give permanent stat bonuses like the altars of Lilith. So the only reason why you would have to go find any of them is if you need them to complete your renown, but you don't need to go find them if you don't want to. No. They added a new mechanic called tenants, but they aren't required like altars of Lilith were. Altars of Lilith were required. Your favorite part about Maxroll is if you mouse over a Paragon node, it tells you what it does. You like the little pop-outs? It's very interesting. Out of all the combinations that I tried, I kept telling everybody that Gorilla Jaguar was the best combination. And in Maxwell's strongest build, look what I did not communicate with Woody about this. Look what Woody came up with. Gorilla Jaguar as well. The Gorilla just keeps you alive forever, and the Jaguar just gives you the ferocity stacks to attack at the speed of light. I think this is the best combination. Mr. Hogg, how we doing, buddy? Hey, there he is right there. Alex, you want to do something fun? You want me to call you and we can talk about Maxroll for a minute? There's the real CEO of Maxroll. You want to talk for 5 minutes about Diablo or nah? Guys, you want to hear from the real CEO of Maxroll? Alex likes to tell everyone it's me, but it's really not. I'm not sure if he has the volume turned on. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Diablo's in-game voice chant is linked to the master slider. I asked him if he wants to talk. What could I contribute to a Diablo 4 discussion? Alex is scared. Let's just call him, see if he answers.
What up, Ryan?
How's it going, man?
Why are you doing this to me?
It's not every day that the public gets to hear from the man behind the curtain.
That is indeed very rare, that's true. How are you doing?
Hear him? I'm good, man. I'm ready to kill myself tomorrow. How have things
well, are you ready though?
Well, oh, Zizarin is here? What's up, Zizarin? I mean, it depends on what you mean by that. I mean, like, could I use another week to get my real life and my health in order? Yes. Do I have another week? No. So I don't know. I guess I'm ready. I mean, not really, but we go anyway.
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean what I mean? Are you ready, like, for the entire blast, like, until the very end? I'm gonna be grouping with Snail, Boiler, and Beat. It's gonna be a blast for sure.
Dude, Snail doesn't even talk to me anymore. I don't even think that guy likes me anymore.
I mean, they're very busy. I mean, all of them are cooking. I'm also fried. I was like having a 23-hour session with like the team, including Woody. Then I took like a nap for 1 hour, got up for a meeting. I took another nap for 1 hour. Like everybody here is working extremely hard to get those guides out. It's, as usual, it's a lot of work. So yeah. I can see people being frustrated in Blue Discord, for instance, reporting that there is like a lot of builds not being out yet, but we have to wait for them to be reviewed. We're waiting on that. So I apologize here in public, but this is unfortunately what we do.
Ziz, by the way, are you playing tomorrow? Do you want to join the call with us? I can add you if you want. Let me know, man. I don't know if you're busy. Yeah, I mean, I've been there, right? It's been so many releases for so many games where you just feel such immense pressure. If people could experience what it's like to write this, 8 full page guide and make all the planners and make all the Paragon boards, and then my favorite part of the whole process, you have to survive the review stage, which is where most guides go to die, really.
Yeah, that's true. But it's not only the writing part. I mean, you know best, like I do, right? It's the entire like testing part. It's the entire behind the scenes part. Like a lot of critique that we're getting is that we're like not the fastest of putting our stuff out, but what a lot of people don't know and what like frustrates me at the end of the day is that our people are also testing and doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So we really have not as much time as maybe other people do. And then yeah, I mean, coming up with the entire code structure again, updating everything, adding more and more calculations to D4 Planner. I mean, it's a never-ending list, and you know that as good as I do.
It looks like so I think in general Maxroll has been one of the leaders in terms of like how the guides look and how they're structured, but I mean, obviously I look at these guides all the time, so I can see you guys on the development side here have made some
Have you seen a new iteration?
I mean, I have it up right now. I have one of the new guides up. I mean, I can see
it.
it.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I can run you through it if you want to. So first of all, in the very top, we adjusted this so that tags are more visible, so people are not getting confused what they're looking at. Then you can immediately now jump to the changelog and FAQ. We figured that a lot of people, especially in Diablo 4, would like to see like way more updates than we would usually do, even if it's just like minor things. And one feedback that we took into account is that we sometimes leave things out that people would consider meta for a reason, but we did like a pretty poor job of conveying or explaining why we're making this decision. So we're going to be changing that as well, and we're going to be a lot more communicative, like in the FAQ section. And that's why we want to basically bring that in Steam on the very get-go, so people have no chance of missing that. At least that's what I'm hoping what it does. Then I've seen a lot of feedback that people are saying, usually we have like one paper doll with one variant, right? That's what we decided back in the days, if you remember. And now
You
we
mean,
have like a multitude of tabs. Yeah, exactly. That you can immediately like see in the introduction, like what this build is and what this build is going to become. That is like a lot of feedback that we have received. So we decided to basically make a change there as well.
well, I mean,
And yeah,
one of the problems that we have is like, just to give a little bit of insight, because I think I was the one who made the template originally for Diablo 4. It's like when
that's true. Yeah.
you have something simple here like this, and you say, okay, we have a little bit of an introduction, we show the skills and stuff, but then you have to answer the philosophical question, what do we put here? And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, some people say, well, you show the most Giga Chad, fully souped up version of this, and
Yeah,
that's
but it also
fine.
discouraged people like at the same time because we do decided like ultimately to basically lock in the mythic section because we really want to make people understand like, hey, this is an endgame build guide, this is not a leveling build guide anymore. So we do expect you at some point to basically get those items, and unlike D2, it's like reasonable to get mythics in D4. I did it myself a million times. But we also want to convey like in the introduction immediately what an ancestral version is, because this is really the version where this build absolutely feels very nice and you can play it, and everything that comes with mythic is basically a very nice add-on. Of course there's exceptions to that, which is like a very specialized build that only comes online with a mythic item, but this is not what it does here. And even if it is, there would be like now even a sentence in the introduction that would make you aware of it, let's say.
Yeah, so when you don't have this available, like these are brand new. When you don't have this, you have to make a decision. So when you choose to show the mythic version to show it's an endgame guide, but as Alex said, then people complain, "Oh, I went to the Maxroll Quill Volley endgame build guide and it has a mythic unique, and I can't get mythic uniques." And they're immediately turned off from the first image that they see. But if we make a different decision, if we show this one or if we show this one, it's not really how the build is set up. And some people are saying, some of the guide writers are saying, this is
Yeah.
not the full power. Like I want to
Yeah.
show like what you're chasing after, but these
Yeah.
tags solve it. Now you can see anything, and now people can't get mad about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you hover like a mythic item really quick so we can see the tooltip. So what we basically decided to do, or what am I working on right now, is essentially like at the very bottom of this tooltip, there will be the drop location of this item. There was a lot of changes, and we used to have like this cheat sheet where you basically can check where you get those items from. But I also feel like it's not really convenient to do that, so we're basically adding in a couple of hours here, in addition to this tooltip that shows you in the bottom where the drop location of this item is. That also makes, I believe, things way easier to our audience, at least. Yeah. Not for us because we have to update it manual. That's not something you can grab from the data mine, but I think it's going to be a nice addition.
No, that's huge. This is way better. I noticed it instantly. This is a beautiful implementation of all of the different variants at the top. What else did you guys change?
Yeah, so we were working hard on this template, honestly. We were like looking at all the feedback that we're getting, and we checked like multiple sources. I mean, we have an eye on Reddit, we have an eye on Sanctuary Discord. We have an open ear for everybody that wants to come in our public Discord and leaves us feedback. There is appropriate channels for that. You can make a ticket. You can share suggestions, and we're always going to be discussing them in our weekly team meetings. Like there is actually like a portion of this meeting that goes over user feedback. That's what we're doing and always have done. And one feedback that we essentially received is that our, let's say, disclaimers are not obvious enough. So we made like 5 versions of new disclaimers, and the one that you have on screen right now, Node, is like the first of them. And I guess in this guide we will see a couple more of them. And if this is not obvious, then I don't really know what is at this point. Yeah.
It seems like every time we reinvent these notes or these warnings, they just get bigger with more colors. That's just the evolution of it over the years. It used to be just like a little asterisk and then just like a white italic text, and now it's like this big actual like widget within the guide.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like really necessary, because people will just miss it, or they see like an introduction and they feel like, okay, this is a lot of fluff. I don't need to read that. Then you have like users that are using the build guide differently. I mean, we can see how people interact with that content, for instance, and a lot of people say that people like don't read written guides. This is actually not true. The higher percentage is actually reading that guide from top to bottom. And then you have like people that are very familiar with the game and they know exactly what they're looking for. So they're going like to a specific portion of the guide, which is usually build variants. So basically see planners and gear, and that's fine as well. But sometimes there's like information that you should not be missing. For instance, last season we had feedback about a specialized build guide on a rogue, where it would be mandatory that you have like a tempering that only a necromancer can drop, and you should have that for that build to play, and it was mentioned in the guide. So people are saying, well, this guide is like so bad, but no, it is not really. You just need to read this disclaimer, and then you would understand. And if you don't want to get it, you can play it. It has a downside. It's still playable, but it would feel better if you would actually go and get that tempering, right?
Yeah, and I
So
think
that's why we decided to put a lot more effort on disclaimers to basically make sure we can sleep at night and try our best to convey that information if it's absolutely mandatory. And I guess we will get to see more in the bottom if you want to move down.
and I would guess that the amount of people that actually read the Maxroll guides probably goes up as the years go on, because the $1 million question that we're trying to answer all the time is,
Yeah.
how do we write the guide in as few words as possible while also telling you everything about the guide?
Yeah. This time we also like we had like a graph last season that would basically showing how the build does in certain like activities of the game. We now decided to basically put that in the introduction, like written words, so people do not have to basically try to read our minds on our scaling. So I figured that would be better. And the other thing, if you go down to skills and gameplay, this is like personally something that I absolutely love. So you see like the skill embed, right? And on Maxroll, we always made like this, I call it those very fancy embeds, you know what I mean? But this time you have like this disclaimer. It's like it's annoying, right? I hate it. I hate the look of it. I hate everything about it. You need to click on it, so it basically goes away, but it will reappear at some point when your cookie is old enough, let's say. But the amount of feedback that we have received that Maxroll skills or Paragon boards are not being completed because users would not understand to use that slider was like so tremendous from the very get-go of this website, Diablo 4, that we basically now finally made this decision that we're going to be putting on something like that and see how that goes. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty familiar to what we built, Ryan, right? But that seems to be different for a lot of users that are using that and do not expect that level of tech, if that makes sense. So we really decided to slap that on there, have it like nasty and ugly on purpose so people would not miss that. And we're basically now making an experiment with our community to see if that helps, right?
Yeah, I've gotten this feedback maybe 100 times as a streamer over the years, and what I always tell them is, guys, do you see this number up here? This number is not, it's not something that the Maxroll creators enter in. This is the number of skill points spent. It's just a counter. So if this says 71, all the points are there, and people are saying, no, Rax, they're not all there, or this or that. It's like, uh, yes, they are. It's user error 100%. It says 71. So
Yeah, also the highlight of the skills, if you change them, they are now going to be way longer. On Paragon boards, they even stay. They do not disappear anymore to basically not have people to interact with it again. I mean, that's straight up a mistake that we did because I personally, for me, the time that the Paragon board would show in terms of highlighting was enough. For a lot of people, it wasn't, so we adjusted that. But one thing about the skill embed at the very top, really quick, the problem that we had about this was essentially so severe that people didn't understand that they need to use the progression slider, that we even made a decision in leveling guides to have the slider all the way to the right, so we can ensure they will see all skills, when in fact this embed should be starting with the slider all the way to the left for obvious reasons.
yeah.
So we tried like everything that we could try, and ultimately we basically agreed as a team of one, okay, let's put this nasty tooltip on those embeds that people have to interact with, that it disappears, and it will reappear after a week. I'm telling you that, people, it will reappear. You're not getting rid of that for now.
So Is it a fair statement to say, like, if I could summarize it, would you say that everyone is a stupid, worthless piece of shit?
No, honestly, I'm always thinking about where the issue is on our end. I mean, if people do not understand that, I'm not thinking about that, people are stupid. I'm thinking about how we can make that better and where's basically our flaw in logic that this is not obvious enough. In CSS or in JavaScript, there's like a lot of things you can do to basically highlight that and give it like funny rainbow colors. The truth is, every time you add something animated to the website, it will make people's computer explode. So sometimes finding the appropriate solution for a problem is really not as easy as it seems. And no, but I would not say people are stupid. I'm always looking to solve the issues on our end and come up with different ideas. But we're also not scared to try something. And if we realize, hey, this is not it, then we're looking into a new solution. And at some point, we nail it, as always. I would answer.
That was a very, very PR safe answer from you. That was very well done. I would have answered very differently, but let's go with your version.
Yeah. Okay. Same to the Paragon boards. If you start a little bit more on top.
Up here? Or where do,
I'm waiting
oh,
for. I'm like on Starlink. I have to wait until something happens. Yeah. Okay. So here you have like another example of like an actual disclaimer. Like this is now red. This is like screaming at you. You should not be missing that, and you should really understand that. The issue that we had on Paragon boards with users is like that the range of a glyph will change according to its level. So people would often go like for the very final version of the Paragon board, not knowing or understanding that this build might as not being functional because you don't really have what it takes at the moment. So we made sure that this is crucial information that you should not be missing anymore. And yeah, sometimes I would say if another person comes in and fights like a bug report or like feedback in Blue Discord saying that was not conveyed good enough, then actually I give up on that because at this point I wouldn't know how to do it any better. Then we added like boards use, of course. We had that in default planner already since a very long time, and I basically said, hey, let's add this to this embed type as well. And you also had like this nasty disclaimer again that tells you to interact with those boards. And in addition to that, we even left the caption below that embed just to make sure we basically mentioned it 3 times. So we do not get this feedback anymore that Maxroll Paragon boards are shit because it's not complete and all that stuff because of the same issue we always said, please, move the slider. So I really think that is it. Like I'm nervous and I'm frustrated at the same time, but I'm also really happy that we did that. So I'm really looking forward to see like 3 month worth of feedback if there's like anything regarding this topic. And now I'm a little bit scared to basically say that on a Twitch stream because please do not file any troll tickets regarding this topic. That's actually really important to us. Yeah, and then
So-
below that there is like the same component in a different color, which is like something that we consider to be like a pro tip that we leave here as well. Should also not as easy to miss as usual. And in terms of information, we went a lot more in depth. And on leveling guides, I mean, even in the introduction, we are straight up mentioning in the introduction items that you need to make this build go online, which is also like things that we had an oversight on. We basically think, okay, well, a paper doll should be enough. You see what item is currently on the character. This is exactly how the build is functional. Yeah, but sometimes you need to convey also like information differently, and this is straight up a mistake on us. We do agree on that as a team and make changes along the way as always. Yeah.
So the only question that I have for you, and I don't know, you might not have been a part of this discussion, but the very first level of the Paragon board in the endgame assumes you have
Yeah.
225 points. Was that by design? Because the very first step fills out the entire board.
I'm honestly not sure how they're going to be making those decisions. When they do that, you honestly have to open like a second endgame build guide and see if that's the same. If it is, then I assume it is. But other than that, in internal Discord, there's like 3 documents highlighted for the variety of templates that we have on the guidelines and why those are guidelines. So we could open that later and check if that's the case.
Yeah, it looks like, well, this one starts at 207, but
Yeah.
maybe they made a decision over there. That would be the only complaint that I can foresee people saying is, wow, you started with 225 points. I only have like 40. But maybe it's pretty straightforward in how you path through it. But people will wonder.
I mean, Ryan, you know how it goes. I mean, as a founding member of this whole project, you know how to file complaints, man.
That's
Like, honestly, just go for it, dude.
I don't know if
As
anyone's
long as it's not me, right? It's all good, dude.
I don't know if anyone's filed more complaints in Maxroll's history than me. Usually I will make the template, present the template, and then I'll complain about my own template presenting it. I've been there. Anyway, we move forward.
Yeah, I mean, runes, not really much to be said here, right? Yes, we did add them. Yeah, and that's really something that I wanted for the Paragon boards. Yeah.
What do you think about the rune words? Are you gonna play? You said you're gonna team with Snail and stuff. Are you excited to play?
Actually, I am, because I honestly went internally and said, look, guys, I'm not going to be present or responsive for like a week straight. I know that I have not been doing that since 4 years in a row, but I will this time. I made a promise a year ago, so I'm going to stick to that. And yes, I'm definitely looking forward to Blast with the Boys. It's honestly a very long time since I've actually sat down and just went like degenerate for a week, let's say. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Like, my fridge is full of Red Bull. I got a lot of snacks. I'm fully prepared to basically go a week hard. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Guys, on Discord with me is the real CEO of Maxroll. He likes to tell everyone it's me, but it's really not. This is Alex. He founded the company a long time ago. What questions do you have for him? He's here. Is there anything else about this template? I really like this.
This mercenary ember is not completed, by the way. This is like the first version that we could crank out really quick. But there is going to be changes to that. It's going to be smaller. It's going to have a background. It's going to look way nicer. But this is like the first thing we could do. So potentially tomorrow this already looks way nicer and different. So apologize for that, but that's the best thing we could do in the short amount of time we had.
I mean, it already looks pretty good to me. I mean, it could look better, but I like this section too, like how you guys have set this up.
Yeah, that was like a very long discussion that we had since quite some time. So what we always did ever since Diablo 3 was like stat priorities, right? We always wanted to convey to people like what you should be looking out for on like a specific slot. And the problem is like this is also like an extreme amount of manual work. And then we had like this issue that we would only show one variant, and this one variant, like our guides has like 4 or 5 variants, right? And then we need to basically make people understand, okay, this is the stat priority of what variant, right? So now we basically have added this, that we not only show stat prior once, we showed 3 times. It now has a tab system. And the technology we essentially developed is that we do record in default planner when you make your planner, how you pick your slots and how you basically define the stat priors on your items. We do record that, and we do now have an export for that. So now, since people are already making their variants on the planner anyway, we can just record that, and we do now have developed like an export, which is like an additional ember type. So we do not spend like 3 additional hours on writing this build guide. And trust me, it takes a very long time to get this build guide written and reviewed. But now we have the technology that we can just have an export from default planner, and it will basically render this for us. And therefore we can, do as many stat priors as we want to, because those variants still exist somewhere in the build guide. So having an export was like really the way to go. I'm not super happy at the moment with the styling. Like the font size, for instance, I'm a perfectionist. There are going to be small adjustments to that. But other than that, I'm pretty happy that we have that for sure. So people really can have like a great understanding about how the roles on items will change according to the gear that you own. And almost in one view, right?
A lot of people are saying thank Alex and the team from our end. They're the backbone of our community. That one dude says, I'd love an app or a more mobile-friendly site. I often have the site up on my tablet under my monitor. I know that one of the most challenging things that we ever encountered, especially when we made the Diablo Immortal branch, was how do we build the most beautiful site on PC and then also make it equally beautiful on mobile? And that was like a huge problem for us over the years.
Yeah.
Do you have any updates on or just insights on what it's like to transfer this to mobile or tablet?
Yeah, so definitely. So this is a very complicated topic, and if we have people in the chat that actually know code, I apologize. I'm trying to keep that very simple, like as best as I can. But for mobile, you have like various viewports, we call it, that you have to make a website work on. So let's say you have like a 360p viewport, you need to make your website operate on that. Like you have to somewhat pick and choose what is like the lowest viewport you want to support. And then you basically go up to every single screen resolution you can be thinking of. So if you basically have a tab of Maxroll and you go like with your cursor to the very edge, to the very right edge of your screen, for instance, and then you drag the window, like you make it smaller and you make it bigger, you basically see how the website will start to change and modify itself according to the resolution that you have. And that is already a lot of work. And given that we're having like so much tech in that, like even making like simple tooltips, like you hover over something with your mouse on our guide, and then you get like this tooltip like you would see it in game. Like something like that, having this scale like on a mobile device, and there's like many resolutions on a mobile device is already like really hard. And it takes a lot of time to optimize those things. And we're trying our best that we at least stack information. Like the thing you usually do on mobile, if you have like crazy information, you really try to stack it. It's like the best thing you can do. Think about, you do not have a lot of real estate on a mobile phone to convey information. So what you got to do is you got to stack. I personally don't like that. And then we get also a lot of feedback from like people that would like to use our website on their phone or tablet, even though the game is not, let's say, even supported on console. So there is not really like, I would say a reason to basically try to make planners on like a PC game on your mobile device. But now that I think about it, about the modern time, well, it does make sense. Maybe you're sitting in public transport for like 1 hour and you really have time and you want to theorycraft. So trust me, I understand everything about it. But Default Planner, for instance, is a tool. It's like the most used planner for Diablo 4 by a huge margin. It does its job really well, and we consider D4 Planner still to be an alpha version. We have scheduled and planned out like the full version of D4 Planner and what it will entail. And there's going to be like a huge community portion on that thing as well, rather soon, because I'm really pushing hard to get this done. But we are halfway through with adding calculations to D4 Planner. This is extremely complicated, and Diablo 4 has already changed a few times how damage calculations in this game work. We constantly have to go back and test it, because this is not something you simply extract out of a data mine. You really have to go and test it. Some testings that, for instance, Ava did on Maxroll regarding attack speed would literally cost a month to figure that out. It's really that in depth, right? And implementing that into Planner on a code basis that you guys can sim damage, for instance, at some point, or that Default Planner really shows you like the damage and how your build changes according to the changes that you make on your gear and whatnot, right? That takes us already a lot of time. Like one person, his name is Riff, he's sitting on a thing day in, day out. He barely has time to do anything else on Maxroll at this time. And we also, like, as a business, thinking about, hey, there's like PoE 2 around the corner. We would really free ourselves up to essentially work on Path of Exile 2, which also requires like doing all of that what we already did for D4 again, and then we need to update and maintain it, and you need to pay people salaries, so that thing has to be profitable. D4 Planner is something that costs CPU time on our backend. CPU time, for people that know it, is really expensive, but there is no other way for us doing that in the way we set it up. So knowing all that, and I'm stopping here, I could continue for like 20 more minutes, but I'm stopping here. And then if we have people asking like, hey, can this thing also work on mobile? Essentially means that we're like doing this entire tool again, so it would just operate on a mobile device. And even though I hate to admit that, but guys, the truth is we do not have the time for that at the moment. That is like the best answer that I can give. And also, don't forget, this is also very important. It is costly to do that. If I'm sending like a developer to basically go on the task, he's going to be busy for 4 months. full time. Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's the most honest answer I can give.
We might get.
I do understand why people want that, but do also understand that we're really busy. Like myself, I'm working since 4 years, 18 hours a day, no weekends, no vacation. And this is how it feels like at Maxroll if you are a part of the foundation, if you're like Silent backend developer, if you're Rift tool developer, if you're Spirit, if you're Danielle. This is really how it feels for us. And we're doing that because we're really passionate and we love what we do, but we also have basically gathered this experience, what we're able to do in time and what we're not able to do, given the 4 years that we're basically doing that now. So is there going to be a default planner for mobile at some point or a Maxroll app? The answer is yes, absolutely. But let us cook. That's basically the best answer that I have.
A lot of people in chat are saying that some of the problems that you need solutions to, they could help you with. There, a couple of people are saying, "Hire me, hire me. I'll help you solve it." Is Maxroll hiring? If we are, what are you looking for, and how would they go about applying?
So if it's like for a developer position, then definitely the right person to reach out to is our public Discord. His name is Silent Assassin. He is going to be responsible for that. The difficulty that we had on Maxroll to essentially onboard developers is that we require either a developer to be working in a very specific field or a full stack developer that is able to, do 6, 7+ code languages, which is really rare to find and at the same time also very expensive. So since June last year, we put like a lot of effort in rewriting the entire code bases of Maxroll to basically make it cohesive and using like frameworks that nowadays developer are really into. And that took us 1 year to do. Therefore, we're pretty much behind on a lot of things, but it was also necessary. And things are going to get better from here for sure because this task has been completed, and we're pretty proud of ourselves that we managed because we wouldn't believe in it until we were actually done. But if there's like developers interested in working at Maxroll, then definitely reach out to Silent Assassin in Blue Discord. He has the admin role. You cannot overlook it. I know that I'm speaking a lot about code, but I am not a developer for Maxroll. I did study information technology, but I'm not a developer.
So once again, to be crystal clear, a lot of people are still saying that they meet their requirements. So if you want to code for Maxroll, if you want to develop for Maxroll, go to the Maxroll Blue Discord, the public Discord, and look for Silent Assassin and just say, "Hey, Silent, I was watching Rax's stream. He was talking with Alex, and they were speaking about you need a developer for this or that. I'm interested. Here are my qualifications. Let's chat." You'll find Silent is a very nice guy. I can tell you something that I've heard from other people who are applying, and I'm not trying to scare you before you apply, but they, how can I say this very nicely? Silent, in a very kind way, will assess your skill set to see if it works with Maxroll. It's there will be a test to see if you can.
Right. So I'm gonna give like a little bit of private information away for developers that would like to basically send their CV to Silent. Our tool developer that is responsible for Default Planner, for example, in a very young age, he won 4 times Olympic gold in coding, and he has graduated at MIT, and we still managed to frustrate the living shit out of him. All right.
And that's not to say that working for Maxroll isn't great, but it's, a lot of people think that it's easy, and history has shown it isn't. It's not. So not trying to dissuade you ahead of time. If you want to come work and code for us, we'd love to have you. But not trying to ruin it before it begins. People said that they really like this checklist that you made.
Yeah, let's talk about it in a second. I see like one question in the chat that I'm personally want to respond to. So that beside is asking, Alex is working only for a D part of Maxroll overall. So I'm responsible for every single website, for every single team you see on Maxroll, and what I'm doing for D4 is just the tip of the iceberg, exactly in that detail, that engaged. I'm also doing that for every single other branch at Maxroll as well. So if you need a little bit more history about other projects, then I'm your guy. I can tell you all about it.
It's been a long time. Yeah, Alex
It's been a long
does.
time.
Alex does a lot around here. He does a lot. It should be his picture as the CEO, not me, which is what I've said 1,000 times. But he keeps my picture there for who knows what reason. Maybe he likes the guitar. I don't know.
You're like the best guy ever, man. And also, I don't would consider myself a CEO. Like I'm a very creative head here, right? So the day-to-day business is like not really what I'm good at. And Ryan keeps basically talking us down. He loves doing that, but he is very crucial to this organization. He's like the person that I can talk to if I'm not feeling well, if I need to make hard decisions to basically, gain clarity. Ryan can go to meetings, and you know for a fact that he will represent this organization very well. He's gonna fight for good things for people inside the organization, and don't trust him when he plays that whole thing like down. He's doing his share until today, and he's doing like a major share from the very get-go of Maxroll. And that's why I'm always smiling when you say that, but at the same time, it also hurts me a little bit, dude. Don't do that.
Out of the two people here to believe, guys, do your normal thing and believe me. I would agree that I was crucial for a long time. I don't think I'm so crucial anymore because the amount of work that I do for Maxroll lately is just
Yeah, but
it's
this
not
is
the same.
how things are naturally progressing, man. Like once you're getting like more successful with YouTube and with your stream, I mean, we started way differently with way different numbers, right? So the organization really blew up. We're one of the biggest gaming websites by now on this planet, and you're one of the biggest content creators on Twitch nowadays. And yes, we did had a conversation what you should be focusing on, and it was pretty clear. And I'm happy that you did that. So you did everything exactly how you're supposed to do that, and I'm really happy that you found like the success that you're looking for. I told you that many times. I can also tell you that in public, dude. It's not a problem, but that's exactly what you should be doing, and I'm really proud of you and your development in particular. So
Well, we
love you,
took.
man.
I love you too. It was a lot of work, man. We took Maxroll from non-existing to something pretty great, man. It's pretty crazy. Look at it now.
We did, yeah, for
But it
sure.
could be so much better and bigger. That's what she said.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a bigger, but there's also like life that you want to live at some point. So you were talking about the check marks, like our little shopping list.
Yeah.
That stuff like saves your progress. So if you're basically coming like to this guide, and you're basically doing like a bunch of dungeons, and you did like 3, 4, or 5 of them, and you're tired and you want to go to bed, you can come back tomorrow, and we will save your progress. You do not have to remember what you did; it's stored. And we're also going to be doing that for you guys in the Ancestral version and in the Mythic version as well. And we're going to extend this feature even further. So that is definitely going to be, a new and very interesting part of the guide that we will be extending on heavily. We really do like this idea. This idea basically has founded its way in Path of Exile in the guides and in the tooling that we did for guides. There's like a milestone section, and we basically take that over to D4 now as well. The only really important thing for me was not only to convey like crucial information, like those are the aspects you need on a starter level to get this build online to make it feel comfortable. I also want you guys to not have to remember what you did yesterday when you're coming back tomorrow from like a good session, right?
Yeah, this is like super helpful. I mean, it's probably helpful for people in Diablo 4, but it's super helpful in something like Path of Exile. Even
Yeah.
when I have like the top tier build guide and I'm trying to make my Ice Nova of Frostbolt's Hierophant or whatever, I have to go get the transfigured gem, and then there's like 5 different things that I have to buy off the auction house, and each of them is like 20 divine minimum, and I don't have very much money, and I don't know which one is like the biggest bang for my buck. And even if one is a bigger bang for my buck, if it's like 80 divine versus a 20 divine thing, then I can look at the checklist and be like, well, I'm never going to get these 80 divines for a while, but I can farm 20 this weekend, and then I can get this thing. And so another thing that really has helped us, I think, that might be different for other websites is a lot of our content creators are in the same like area, or there's like cross pollination, because like me, I'm one content creator for Maxroll. I play Diablo 3, Diablo Immortal when it came out, Diablo 4. I'm not good enough to make a Path of Exile build guide, but I'm good enough to make a Path of Exile beginner's guide. I played Lost Ark until to the highest raid possible, free to play. And so when you're working as a, even if I'm only writing guides for maybe D3, D4, DI, and maybe D2, you get ideas from some of the other branches. And when you build another branch, or when you're talking to the content creators from the other branch, you're like, hey, we have this really cool idea that really worked. Or, oh, you're thinking about doing this idea? Oh, no, we tried that in D3. People hated it. It was dog shit. And here's why. So if you're going to try it again, at least don't do this because it doesn't work at all. And so,
I mean, I agree. Like
helps.
throughout the years, we really tried a lot of things, right? And I mean, let's be real. Like we try 6 things out of 10, and they're going to be good, and 4 of them is going to be ending up like as a calamity, and people hate it. But that is okay as long as people tell us, hey, this is not what we're looking for. Like the previous version was better. That's cool. We're going to be reviewing that, and we're going to revert back. That's fine. But we do not have this attitude here that we are afraid to try things. Like if you're afraid to try things, this is like a real, like for me personally, this is like a loser attitude. If you don't try, if you don't fall, if you don't fail, where do you gain the experience from of making like a better product? Be like more engaged with your people, more engaged with your community, and keep basically working on what you have. Like we could also have the mentality to basically lean back and say, hey, we got the biggest market share on Diablo 4. It doesn't matter what we do at this point anymore, right? Because we could either like maintain what we have, or we could like fight for like 3% more market share by like doing this and this and this. This is not the mentality that people have here. We always want to have the best product. We're always open for ideas, from people in the community, from our people internally. If the idea makes sense, if we can afford it, if we can do it, we will, and we will try. And even if we spend a couple grand on it and the idea gets dismissed at the end of the day, that's it. But we don't stop trying to innovate things. That's really not what we're doing here. No. And I'm okay to fall. I'm okay to fail with ideas and things. I'm really good with that. That is just part of the way, in my opinion.
I mean, look how badly we failed, and look at how much money we lost on the Diablo Immortal branch.
That's fine, man. Like values are more important than money. Yeah, then there is a crucial part that you were missing on right now on the variants. We basically set a standard now. So on variants, right here is go down. Build variants, yep. So there's like tabs from Start, Ancestral, Mythic, Speed Farming, and Pit Pushing. So if there is going to be like a major activity that requires a new variant, then people will add them. But we made sure that we're going to be aligning on this. What I basically noticed is that a lot of writers have like a lot of preferences, doing a lot of things differently. We're trying to basically have the natural progression of what Start, Ancestral, Mythic really means, and we're also setting like as usual a standard with it. So other websites are going to go with it or they don't. We don't care because we're not really looking at that. But other than that, a lot of times like a Mythic version will be the speed farming version, for instance, and so on. But if there is an activity that requires an additional variant, we will add it here. But other than that, those are the standard variants that we have agreed upon. Yeah. And we also now convey in the first sentences of why you should be using this variant. So what we had in terms of feedback is like a lot of people made a version of this variant that we were displaying and then trying to use this variant for a very specific purpose, such as speed farming, in like a different activity and failed badly because this variant was not supposed to be played in this activity. That also caused people to basically say, hey, that this guy is shit. But no, this variant was not meant to be used in this activity. And this is basically what we're now trying to explain to people, that they should understand this. And I think the major issue that we have in Diablo 4 since now, a lot of people refrain of or staying back of like changing items and skills and paragons because it's annoying, right? We don't have like an armory such as D3. You just click and you're like on your next variant, on your next build. So that is a severe problem, and I do expect Blizzard to really implement an armory here rather soon. And when this is the case, then I also don't. I personally think this feedback would have resolved at this point. But people need to understand, as long as we don't have an armory and you want to pick a variant on Maxroll, you should understand that not every variant that we're basically showing here is meant for the purpose that you are trying to, use the variant now. Like, please understand that. And I apologize that there is no armory in D4. There will be, but it is not at the moment.
Yeah, it's coming soon. I don't want to take up your entire day, Alex. Let me ask you, thank you for all the work on these guides, man. First of all, it looks amazing. Thank you and the team. More of a lighthearted question from you. A lot of people are wondering, what games do you play? What games are you familiar with? I think they're secretly wondering, are you a noob at these games, or do you play at the highest level? So, what games do you play nowadays?
Nowadays, I'm not playing a lot of games anymore. It's basically work. So I'm pretty happy if I can take some days off on like a PoE League start and play with my team. And now we're basically going on a blast with D4 on Vessel of Hatred with the boys, and that's what I really enjoy doing. I used to play a lot of games. I used to play a lot of games on the highest level, also competitive. But that is over. Like, I'm 36. I'm old. I gotta admit that. And yeah, work has been more important than playing games these days. Just don't have time for that anymore. So I really have to basically take vacation, hand like vacation, and to be able to blast Vessel of Hatred. This is what my life has become, and I'm completely fine with that.
So, to add a little bit of context to that, Alex will be farming Torment 4 in D4. He'll have multiple hundred divine characters or mirror tier characters on the PoE league. So he
Yeah,
plays.
like mirrors and PoE, and yeah, for sure. Like, I play this game on a very high level. Like, I'm not like a hardcore racer, for instance, guys, but I do this play. I play this game to the highest extent, for sure.
Maybe one of these days, Alex, when you have your character built, we can do a community raid day, because it requires at least 2 people, you and me and 2 people from in chat, and we just carry them through the T4 raids for their mounts. Are you down?
Yeah, of course. Are you on softcore this time, or are you gonna go hardcore?
I'm never playing hardcore in Diablo 4 again until there's something to achieve in hardcore. There's nothing to fucking do, man. If they have something to achieve, I'll do it. But until then, I'm going softcore, so I can just carry everybody.
Right. No, that sounds good. We can definitely do that. I definitely have a couple more minutes, so let's finish this version of the template if you like.
Yep.
There's also an entirely new version of the leveling template, but I think that kills it a little bit.
Is that what you want to look at?
No, what is like the end of the endgame build guide here?
FAQ and mechanics.
Right. So mechanics, like open the first accordion. This is like what triggers me if people are saying, hey, use Maxroll guides, they're like beginner friendly, it's for noobs. Like, mechanics, open the first accordion. Yeah, guys, so this is like very beginner friendly. This is like, if you want to start out with Diablo 4, you can. This is where we have a starter section for, and this is why we are showing in so much detail how you progress your character. But we are testing this game in depth, like even on a mathematical level, to basically come up with all those formulas and how the game is being calculated, how it works. And in case people still don't understand that, Maxroll is like the prime team to provide feedback to the game developers that are actually developing this game and taking feedback and making adjustments to, often what we provide as feedback. So this is like what we're doing behind the scenes a lot, not only for Blizzard. There is a lot more companies that we're doing this with. So Maxroll beginner friendly, yes, we are, because we're showing progression, but we're also showing like very sweaty min-max and how it's done.
Yeah, so someone said looking at this as a noob is intimidating. This is why we put it in an accordion and it's not actually there. That's why we just say, hey, when you're starting out, put this together. When you get a little bit stronger, do this. When you get your mythics, do this. There's a reason why we bury this at the bottom within an accordion. This is only if you have 2 inches of Cheeto dust on your chest hair and you just want to get really, really sweaty with the mechanics.
Yeah. Have you at least looked at the new leveling guides? I like those a lot more.
I don't think I have. Let's see. We don't have a Spiritborn.
We also now have a playstyle filter. People have asked us all the time if we can add a playstyle filter, so we did.
I want to look at. Let's look at this one. Oh, not North War. Wow.
Yep, North War finally has a partner in crime, and Panda does a really good job.
Yeah, this is the problem with Firewall. So good early, so bad late game.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess you are still being brave and going at the beginning for the leveling template on the slider.
Yeah, so finally we made this decision to have it finally where the slider belongs, all the way to the left. I mean, you interacted with the tooltips, therefore you don't see it anymore. If like a new person is coming to that, he will. So we're sticking to that now.
People will appreciate that here's how you transition into it.
Yeah. That was my question to you, actually, what you think about that, if you scroll down. How meaningful do you think what to gamble? Do you think that's good?
Well, when you're leveling up, you just it's hard to say because again, in talking to me for 5,000 million hours, the most important thing that we can do at Maxroll is make a guide that appeals to everybody, right? We're not trying to make especially for the leveling guide, we're not trying to make the ultimate rank 1 mythic unique sweaty thing. So when I see this what to gamble here, it is a pretty big chart, and what I'm always in favor of is telling people what to do and not giving them a choice. Now, what this is doing is it's saying, depending upon what you need, this is what you would get. But historically, I like much better gamble offhands until you get this power. Then gamble helmets until you get this power. And the amount of obols that you get while leveling is so small anyway. I think I would prefer, instead of this chart, saying, here are the top 3 things to gamble in order. This until you get this until you get this, and this until you get this. And take away the whole choice out of it. When I write a guide, I try to give them no choices. Do this, then do this, then do this. It's like we always talk about. It's like a recipe. If you have a recipe to make tacos, here's what it doesn't say. It doesn't say, well, go to the store and you can buy the hard shell tacos or the soft shell tacos or the gluten-free tacos. It says, buy these tacos. Then it says, preheat the oven to 400 degrees. It doesn't say, well, if you want them a little soft, then put it a little bit lower. If you want them really crispy, put it higher. No, it says preheat the oven. It says cook the meat. So that would be my feedback on that. I don't it's good information. I would not have done it this way.
Yeah, I see your perspective. That's fair, especially in editorial content when you basically should tell people, okay, this is your option. If you give too many options, that can always cause confusion. I mean, I see that for sure.
Guys, I was the one who wrote the templates for most of the guides for many, many years, and I was the one with the red pen crossing shit out.
Legendary times, dude.
This is what we do behind the scenes. We argue about everything, about how do we present the information. But I'm very much just tell them what to do and remove the choice out of the whole thing. Not because people are stupid and because they can't make choices. As a consumer, if I'm going to go if I'm going to read a Crouching Tuna Path of Exile guide, the thing that makes me genuinely anxious or unhappy is when Crouching Tuna gives me 15 choices. Don't give me choices. Tell me what to do and then let me go do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're new to the game and you cannot make your own decisions at this point. Like, yeah, I get it for sure.
Anyway, it's better than not having a what to gamble. This is not how I would have done it.
What do you think about jackpot drops? So aside the name that I personally don't like, but how do you feel about the section? The problem that you have while leveling, if you drop a specific aspect or if you drop a specific unique, you could be switching immediately to an endgame build guide and completely like dismiss the idea of what you're doing right now, and you're going to be well better off. But conveying and explaining that is difficult for sure. So curious, what do you think about that?
Okay, so again, this is going to be like a devil's advocate thing here, but this is why people don't like it when I go to the meetings.
Yeah, the
Here,
problem is leaving it out basically can also make the community or people that are using our guides, like they could get the idea that we don't have that on our radar while we do it. It's just always it's like a matter of how do you display and convey this information. That's like the most difficult part sometimes. Sorry, man, go ahead.
so here's the way that I think about it. Think about, forget Maxroll, forget our knowledge, forget the guide. Think about the player. So someone is coming to Maxroll, let's just say they don't have that much playtime. They trust Maxroll for the guide. When they're making a build guide, it's not the same as you and me, right? You and I are very, very degenerate, seasoned veterans of ARPGs, which means that we are very comfortable completely throwing away a build that we have been making once something drops and completely changing it to some other build in order to get a benefit. But I feel like a lot of people, when they're absorbing the leveling guide and they're going to level, okay, I'm going to level Centipede and then maybe I'm going to continue Centipede in the end game, or I'm going to go Quill Volley in the end game. I think that if they're level 40 in the middle of the campaign and you have this section called jackpot drops and you say, oh, stop, you have this, now you can immediately switch to the end game build. I think that builds more anxiety and confusion than just letting them continue with what they've already been building for 40 levels and just allow them to switch in the end game. So for that reason, I think the best approach for this is just to say jackpot drops is fine, but just letting them know that when you hit level 60, then you can respec to this. I would not be advising them to respec in the middle of it. And actually, they did a pretty good job here. They said we recommend switching in at level 60. I would continue to reinforce that. I would say stick with our leveling guide 1 to 60. It's not really worth it to switch it in the middle of the run. And
The
then
problem
when
here again is if you make the switch, you might not be able to adjust your Paragon board. That is the point, yeah.
you don't even get your Paragon board until 60.
Yeah.
You don't have the Paragon board. So you actually don't have it. So
I mean, early on, even if you want to change it, most likely you cannot, right?
I like the idea of calling out these are the godly things that you're looking for, and I love the fact that it points to go make this build next. That's all great. But if we're planning to advise to switch in the middle of the leveling guide or the middle of the campaign run, I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, that's why we're phrasing it that way. We just want to make sure that people understand, hey, we know this is a thing, and you could if you want to. We just don't advise you to do it. Unless you really know what you're doing, then yeah, I think you definitely should, yeah.
I mean, last season, if you get a fractured winter glass really early, you should probably switch. But a lot of people, even a lot of people that made the Lightning Spear build, they still don't know how it works. I made, like, 1 month after the Lightning Spear guide was out, I got so many questions. I made a guide like, let me show you why my Lightning Spear Sorcerer clears T8 instantly and why yours might struggle on T7. I got so many comments like, oh my god, Rax, thank you. And I switched and now my guy absolutely fries. So, yeah, I'm just not a big fan of people switching leveling up in the campaign at all.
Yeah.
As long as let me rephrase that. I'm good with the jackpot section. I just don't want to tell them to switch the build in the middle of the run.
Yeah. as I said, my opinion is more like if you know what you're doing, you should. If you're not and you want to have like a good experience, like continue leveling, keep following. That's basically what we're trying to convey here. But yeah, that was a huge discussion if we should add that or not, for exactly that reason. Yeah, you will have like two fractions that are thinking differently about it.
Someone has an interesting idea. I don't know if we should do this, but it's something we could consider very far in the future. But someone on their account, like if people are going to make accounts on Maxroll, in their settings, they could fill out their experience level, like seasoned, pro, veteran, or very, very new, need maximum guidance. And then the settings may present slightly different guides to them. Like, for example, if they mark seasoned, veteran, pro, then we say, if you get these items, switch immediately to this build. If they've marked that, then maybe our presentation is a little bit different based upon how their familiarity is that they fill out on their profile. That's definitely not the worst idea I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I mean, we thought about this like before. I mean, it's a very extensive feature for us to develop for sure. It's definitely a nice premium feature. We have a lot of ideas in the backlog for that. Unfortunately, it's the same problem. We're still playing catch up, right? And at some point for sure, but we are offering like premium features already. Like for instance, if you have a Maxroll account, and in the very top of each article, you can pin a guide. So what you don't have to do is like you don't need to come back and go to the changelog and check. If you want to, you can make a Maxroll account for free. You can pin the article. It's going to be added to your menu in the top right. And if there is an update, like a meaningful update, our writers can decide that they want to notify people that have pinned this page, and then you get like a notification immediately that something crucial has changed to that guide.
Where
So
do you get the notification? Is it an email? Is it a Discord?
you get it in the top right in your user center, right? Under pin pages. This is where you would see it.
So you get it within Maxroll.
Yes, you do. But I believe, and I'm sorry if I'm wrong because I personally did not like develop this feature, but I also think you can make adjustments in your settings that you do get an email if you want to. But by default, I don't think that's the case. And even though this is something that was planned that has not been developed, like please don't quote me on this. But it could be a thing. I'm not sure right now. But at the least at the very end, Maxroll is telling you guys that for free if there is a meaningful update, and we have guidelines for our writers when they should be making use of that feature or not. And that is a very sweet thing. So I would definitely recommend making use of that, especially if you're trying to follow a guide for, a couple days, a week or two. That's definitely worth it.
Well, like always, man, people are. It's awesome. I see all the tier lists are up. I see some of the build guides are starting to come out right now. People are starting to push them out. Is the plan to have all the guides out before tomorrow, or is that
Yeah, we're gonna be releasing all guides in time. That is not a problem, and the scheduled release date for all content was today, so the deadline is essentially today. So people still have a good amount of time to publish their stuff. Of course, there's gonna be a handful of articles, 5 or 10, that gonna be released like very very close to Vessel of Hatred. That's unfortunately what it is. I see a lot of people are reporting 404s. So what happens if we publish a tier list with builds? It has like a built-in hyperlink to the actual build guide for easier navigation for the people. The problem is if you have a lot of new guides that we don't have yet, this is exactly what you're getting. You get a 404, so I apologize for that. But that's going to be fixing itself once the guide is published. But I apologize for that. That must be annoying. I get that.
Okay, so all the guides are going to be out today and tomorrow.
Yeah,
One of the most important ones is already out from Woody, the Quill Volley Endgame build guide. I think a lot of people are either going to play Quill Volley or Centipede. I think this is what the vast majority of people are playing. So when we get this and the Touch of Death and the 2 leveling guides, it'll be golden.
Yeah, he tested it like crazy. So that is definitely the build to go on Spiritborn, I believe. And also, can you check the world map? Is like the new area updated? Oh wait, I can check that myself.
Nahantu is here. Are the tenants of Akarat already here? Let's see. Maybe you called them altars of... Yeah, you called them altars of Lilith. One thing that you might want to do, it's not like the biggest deal in the world, but these are not called altars of Lilith. They're called tenets of Akarat. So you labeled them correctly, but the filter is altar of Lilith. People will probably expect it to be a tenet of Akarat separate item.
Yeah. Already sent Riff a screenshot and a one-liner, so we will change it for sure. But I'm happy that it's already there. So at least people can
Yeah, we can hide
grab their
everything,
progression tomorrow.
turn on
Yeah.
altars, and
Yeah, we also made improvements to the tool, like on a design level. I like this way better. I already dismissed the old design. I don't want to remember how it looked.
build design of what?
The design of the menu to the left on the map looks better.
Yeah, this is nice, man. People
Yeah.
will need this little map to pump their renown.
Yeah, we also changed the tag of this map. It's now WebGL rendering, so it's being done by your GPU. It doesn't consume a lot of resources, so that was also a big improvement. It's nice.
Alex always with the tech stuff.
Yeah, man, that's my sheet.
Alex does the tech stuff. I do the content stuff. I go in there and I say, "This is dog shit. We have to completely redo it," and then everyone hates me.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have we done that in the history of this project? That's absolutely insane. I mean, just updating like D4 guides to like its final version so people get to use them now. I think we touched them 7 or 8 times. It's absolute madness sometimes. All the last minute changes and this and this and that. It's crazy.
Well, they say experience is the best teacher, right? So we always give the most. We actually probably give more effort in the beginning of a project than later. So it's like it's not like the effort is there, and it's not like we're purposely trying to make a bad design, but we make a design, and then probably the most helpful thing is we actually really listen to feedback. Like when people come in my stream and say this part is really confusing, or when we get the tickets in the blue Discord and then we have meetings about it. A lot of like we arrive at better versions of things because we're always listening, and we're pretty much never happy with anything. We'll always just make it better and better and better. I'm sure this map will look different in a year from now, and I'm sure the template will change again. But I guess if you're ever satisfied with what you've made, that's a path to mediocrity and a good way to not make a good product.
I mean, I feel like we're never satisfied, right? There is no light at the end of the tunnel. There's like always things to improve. It's never going to be like boring. There is like the next major design update of Maxroll, basically laying in our Figma that is currently under review that changes like the entirety of the layout of the website, which is unfortunately really mandatory. I hate introducing new navigation to existing users, but we basically went into like a rabbit hole with that whole side menu idea, and now we do not have an appropriate space to essentially highlight what else we're doing. So we gotta change that. There is no way around it. So that is like the final change of Maxroll designs, at least like on the top level menu structure. Then I promise we're gonna be done with it. And yeah, other than that, sure, you're never done. You're always working on the product, and I feel like that never ends. It's also like the part that interests me the most. It's a lot of fun developing cool stuff. Maxroll first release was November 2020. Next month we have our 4 years anniversary.
If you want to do something for that, let me know. If you want to give away a ton of merch for something, or
We actually want to, and we're also reaching out to you guys. If you can help us on that, it would be nice.
yep, let me know.
Would you?
I have a feeling I'll be streaming that day. You know.
Probably, yeah. Was there anything else in the leveling guides that we didn't see? Because then I think we have all the new changes done.
I have so many tabs open. To see. Yeah, I think this pretty much covers it. Well, appreciate.
So we now have class tier lists. Did you saw that? If you click on tier lists, you have now filters on the top where you can filter down by classes.
Oh, I see. You guys are stealing from me. Okay, I gotcha.
Scroll up, like we literally stole that shit from you, dude. So here, now we have Spiritborn tier lists.
I like it though.
Now people ask like a million times about that, and we also read a lot of time. But Rex is doing it like that. Can you please? Yeah, okay, sure we can.
Oh, it's okay.
You can.
I don't care at all. I don't own it. Yeah, I think this is exactly it. Then the gorilla build, I spent so much time theory crafting this thorns thing, and it was so disappointing. When I actually
Yeah,
played it, it was fucking dog shit.
I've heard. Yeah.
It was really sad. Yeah, it's okay. So I'm actually glad because I didn't talk to the other Maxroll creators. This is exactly what I was seeing as the two strongest things, and that's Stinger. I thought was pretty good as well. And yeah, I didn't get much success with that, but these three for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Came to the same conclusion. That's always a good sign.
Yeah. Check the others. Make sure that's also the same thing.
Yeah, leveling should
Yeah, man.
be Centipede and Quill Volley again.
The only
Yep.
thing that bothers me is like the homepage of D4. We have like such an amazing new design, but we really did not have time to complete it. That really, really bothers me. So we made slight improvements to the homepage, but the new design is still not there. It's really bothersome.
It'll come in time. It'll be okay. These are the top three. These are the three builds that I made. Quill Volley, Stinger, and Rake. Let's see. Oh, they're not ready. Okay. Well, if worst comes to worst, just take my planner and slap it in a guide and then just put coming soon. I'm 100% sure that the three guides that I made these three as the top three. They have the same thing.
There's a big party in Red Discord right now, so people are reviewing their stuff, and every hour there's like a few more guides getting published. So that's gonna be the usual madness. You still remember that? Always like a crazy time. I also don't understand how I end up joining the channel and find myself like helping 22 hours straight, but it's how it goes.
It's because you're addicted. That's the answer.
Yeah, but we also like what we're doing. Other than that, I don't think this is possible. Like running a publisher is really hard. It's not easy. There are so many nuances to that, such as other nice people stealing your stuff and this and this and that. It can be really frustrating at times. So I always appreciate if we get like nice feedback from people like actually appreciating what we're doing and have like a good understanding how much it takes. We do love to read that. That really helps us keep going. So thank you for everyone who was like really kind in chat. Appreciate that.
Alex is an emotional creature. He needs compliments to keep going.
Sometimes I do, yeah. Like every human.
I'm just messing with you, but I gotta mess with you when I can, which is all the time. All right, man.
Amen.
What a
You have
godly
the
job.
permission to do so.
Look at Maxroll, man. Remember when we just had the shitty D3 guides? Look at it now. Unreal.
Hey man, it was a blast. 5-6 people. Let's make like a D3 side, completely underestimating like what it really takes, and then releasing like so late because we wanted like everything at once, and like all the conversations with like Riff at the back. Yeah, it was like really complicated like to get him on board and release like with D3 Planner and all that stuff. And now 4 years have passed. Still on board. Now we got him to Germany. It's like crazy, man, for sure.
4 years have passed, and we still have no idea what we're doing. All right.
Sometimes it actually feels that way, man, but definitely that's not true. At least if I'm looking at other things that are out there.
We're trying. All right, man.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
I only wanted to take 5 minutes of your time, but that was like an hour. But I wanted everybody to have a little treat, to get a chance to talk to the guy who started it all. Alex was the guy who had the idea for Maxwell. He's the one who put it all together. He's the one who recruited me and Woody to make the D3 thing, and then we expanded from there. So if Maxwell has helped you with any of these games over these years, this is the guy to thank. His name is MLG Hots in the chat. I don't know why he hasn't changed it to Neosid, but whatever. It's still not Neosid. We'll never understand why.
So I have a chance to fly under the radar. Look, like ever since you're listed as the CEO on the team page, my messages in Discord dropped by like 80%. So appreciate you, man.
Oh, great. Well, so that's where all the messages come from. Now they usually don't.
There was one person in chat that asked how we came up with the name Maxroll. So There is a pretty known player in Diablo 3. His nickname is SVR. He came up with the name. At the very end, we had two names on the list, and one was Maxroll, and the other one was Skill Cap. And we went with Maxroll. That's where the name is coming from.
Skill
Not from
capped already exists, right?
now it does, yeah. Yeah. Not back in the days though.
The truth comes out. All right,
Yep.
man. Well, I know it's going to be a crazy day the day before the expansion, but I'll see you in game, and maybe we'll have our super powerful Spiritborns, and we can carry everybody through the. It's not even like a carry. I keep using the word carry in the raids. People have to do their job. And people have to play. So it's not like Lilith where I can just one shot her for you and just stay alive and everybody wins. You have to actually play.
We do what we gotta do, but I'm honestly looking like forward for the story. So I will definitely look. I will have a look at the cinematics. I'm not going to be skipping them. So the story about it always was fascinating me on almost all Blizzard games, and the cinematics were always like really cool pieces. So yeah, definitely going to be looking forward to that. Hope you also have a lot of fun. Are you playing group or playing solo? Did I even ask you what class you're playing? Sorry.
I'm gonna play Spiritborn, but I'll end up making everything because I'm a loser. But I'm gonna play solo, like to get to the end game. But then I'm going to listen to all the dialogue. I'm gonna enjoy the campaign. I'm gonna take that slow, and then once that's over, I'm gonna cap my round. I'm gonna clear 2-1, and I'm gonna start farming. I mean, so let me know if you're on and you want to play, and we can team up.
Yeah, we'll do. We'll do. I'm definitely gonna be playing Dance of Knives. That looks like a god DH. I cannot resist, man. I gotta do it.
I think it's going to be very strong. I was looking at the victimized nerfs. They don't seem that bad. I think at a minimum, it'll be able to play in World Tier or Torment 4. I don't know if it'll be the strongest Torment 4 build, but it'll be good at a minimum.
Right. No, this is not Wodijo. This is Alex, not Max. But it really hurts my feelings that you could notice my German accent. I'm sorry about that.
I don't think that's not something you can ever hide, Alex. It sounds like a German accent to a filthy English speaker, but that's okay. Actually, I think your English has improved in the last 4 years.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You probably just speak
For
English
sure.
all day, right? Or do you speak German?
No. I talk way more English than German at this point, or since a very long time, for sure. I also think in English now, which is something that I do not really appreciate, I gotta be honest. But,
Do you
I
think
dream in English as well. That's weird.
do you think there could be an inflection point in your life where your English is actually better than your German?
I really don't think so, because I was also like attempting like linguistics in university, so I would say my German is like really sophisticated. I can talk German that Germans cannot understand me, and I'm not talking about an accent, I'm not talking about the slang. I am talking about using words that no German uses, but are German words. So no, I don't think so.
Damn, get wrecked, Germans. Say something to them in German before you go.
Vielen Dank für die Aufmerksamkeit. Schön, dass ich auf den Stream kommen konnte. Und ich hoffe, einige Leute haben sich gefreut und ich konnte ein paar Fragen beantworten.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
whatever he said, I'll take 2 of those with a Coke.
Right, cool, man. Thanks for having me. Hate you, love you. You get it, right?
It's both. All right, man. Appreciate you. I'll see you in game. And are you ready for that emote that I have? Rax, fine. It's coming today.
Man.
It's coming today. Yeah.
All right.
It unlocks today.
Hit me up when it's there, please.
I will. All right, later, dude.
Later, man. Bye bye.
All right, guys. That was the man behind the curtain. That was. I mean, I can't even show you. He doesn't even put himself on the team page. That's the guy. That's him. Guys, there's so many people who subbed. Let me actually go through them all. Deadpool, Crash, San, Eve, Cloaked Dream, Bad Warrior, Airtheos, Judanana, Sarmos, and Marcy, Dragon, Gunner, X-Conclusive, Mr. AJ, Fluffy, Venix, Be Kind, Stone Turner, CDR. Thank you so much for the subs, guys. Ultra Core with the super chat. I love Rax's total understanding, total audience understanding. I understand everybody. I wish I understood everybody. You thought that was Woody? No, that was Alex. That's the leader of Maxroll with Silent. Oh. Is that all he does for a living? No, I think his family also has a major family business that I believe was passed down from his father to him. So he also has a family business. Do I have any tattoos? I do not. Yeah, you've never heard of Alex because he doesn't let anybody know who he is. He doesn't let anybody know who he is. It's weird. I thought they would do this in order, but Spiritborn, LMNOP, right? Doesn't matter. I love Chewy. Hey, he got it right in this order. Damn, look at all these cutie patooties. Is Snail gonna be streaming? Yeah, they need... My picture of the druid is way better than this one. The fridge? Yeah, it's so quiet, sorry. God damn, I'm excited for tomorrow. That's the kind of energy we need, guys. Yeah, we need to put Cajun's name on there. Rax, anything to do to prepare for season 6? I haven't played much, but I want to be ready. Make sure you have your renown done. Watch my leveling guide. It's not even that long. Watch the leveling guide. And follow one of the Spiritborn leveling guides that I made. They fry. 100% they fry. Ironically, I did not communicate with other content creators, and Maxroll came up with the top 2 builds, the exact same 2 builds that I thought were the best. And when you open the guide, almost the way that you build it with the Gorilla Jaguar is almost exactly the same. I wonder if I can click the planner here. I'd like to click the planner. I guess I can just find the skill tree here. Where is it? I think this is broken, potentially. Oops. So it's pretty identical here. 30% chance to hit on counterattack. So does this give resolve? He doesn't even have it on his bars, so he just picks anything to move through it. Yeah, he doesn't even have the generator on his bars. So he must have a way, this version must have a way to generate. God, my allergies are so bad, making my eyes water. He must have a way to generate resolve? Or is he not generating resolve somehow? Because I wish I could see it in the other view. I wish I could open the planner. Wah. Here's the Stinger planner from Woody. Yeah, what we really want though, yeah, here. I guess this build doesn't have a way to knock down. Hmm. So he uses Rushing Claw. Interesting. Me and Woody's leveling builds are very different, actually. I went full poison with Touch of Death and the Centipede. He's only using Stinger, and then otherwise he's playing completely different things. Where's the scroll bar? I can't move this thing. I can't drag it. Must be an error with it. I'm sure they'll fix it. I can't go up anymore. This is his Stinger. This is his Stinger leveling build, it looks like. It's interesting. Some of it's the same. We take the same key passive. But I went all in on poison. Okay, so Armored Hide is going to build the resolve for you. But he didn't... Oh, I see. Wait a minute. I didn't test this. Wait. If you spec into Armored Hide, does it just give you the resolve if you don't even put it on your bar? He didn't put it on his... I didn't even test that. Wait. He put Centipede on it. Wait. He did put Centipede on his bar, but he didn't spec Centipede. What? Something's wrong here. This can't be right. He spec'd into the Hunter, but he has Centipede on his bar. Something is busted here. Something's not right here. So if I'm to go by off the skill tree, looks like Woody for this leveling guide is trying to move really fast. He's trying to run really fast, but I found the campaign was not free. So I went for a much more like my build is going to be slower moving around, but I think my build is going to be tankier. Like I took 20% DR here. And I took the gorilla power instead of the eagle, which is going to give you essentially infinite barriers. So you have infinite barriers, and you have the 20 DR here. That's a good question. I don't know. I might start my subathon when I start streaming. Or maybe I start it when it launches. What do you guys think I should do? Should I start the subathon when I start streaming tomorrow? Or should I start it when the game launches? I'm thinking to do it when I start streaming. I don't watch the Halo World Championship. I don't watch the Halo World Championships anymore because it's not Halo 1 or Halo 2, right? I guess the nice thing about starting it on the launch is it would give me about an hour to set it up, maybe. It's not fair to the EU peeps if it's at the launch. That's true. If I started at the beginning, then people will get most of the smaller rewards out of the way. I think I have to start it when I start the stream, and the reason why is people might donate, and then they might get upset that it doesn't count toward the subathon, which would make sense, right? And I don't want anyone to get screwed over, so I guess I just do it at the beginning, right? Why does Maxwell say it's coming out tomorrow, but the official launch isn't until Tuesday? Because it comes out tomorrow. It comes out in 27 hours. I don't know. I'm guessing that the gifted subs only start after. I'm pretty sure the gifted subs only count after the game is actually out. I'll be very clear on that. I don't want anyone to get screwed over. When will my stream start? I'll probably start maybe 2 hours before the launch. Probably 2 hours before. So essentially 24 hours from now, I'll be live-ish. And yes, you can preload the content right now. Is there a pre-download on Steam? Oh, I don't know. Maybe not. I'll show you guys the map, guys. Let me find it. Well, I'm looking for the map. I'm pretty sure Adam tweeted it. Let me go to the Diablo channel, maybe. Here, I finally found it. Here it is. If you're wondering when it starts. That gif, man. So, EU gamers, it's gonna be pretty late. Hi, Barricade. What's up, buddy? Big McLarge Huge is here. What's up, buddy? Epic, Sokar, the Schweets, Tino, Keith, Lord Demonoid, Judah. Not okay. We already answered that one. Thanks to the bits, man. Do you want to know how stupid I am? I thought New Zealand was way more north than what it is. I didn't realize how far. I didn't realize how low in latitude it was. It's so south, it's almost north. Yeah. From the two S tier Spiritborn builds, which one was more fun to play? I think the one that was more fun for me, I would say, was the poison one, because I love that fantasy of the centipede and the poisoning. I think most people would say that the Quill Volley one is probably more fun because it has more speed to it. Hey, guys. Does anybody else feel that? Are you guys feeling that sniffle? Everyone put your hand on your forehead. Is it feeling a little warm? Whew. Yeah, actually, guys, I think we're all getting sick. I think we're gonna have to call off of work and school tomorrow. Yep. Whew. He's right. I'm sick. Ouch. It's going to be at least a week. Yeah, I think this is a new virus. I think it's going to put me out for at least a week. My head, my neck, my back. Ouch. I have a hangnail. I have a headache. I have a fever. My stomach hurts. So what I'm going to do is call off sick and get my G Fuel and order a giant ass pizza and just try to feel better. And I guess in the meantime, I'll play the D4 expansion 20 hours a day to try to feel better. I made a payback build, just play, and I thought it was going to be really good, and it sucked. I pulled the video and I pulled the planner that I was going to put on YouTube. All right, well, I've only streamed for 2 hours, which by my standards is an absolute joke of a stream. But starting tomorrow, I'm gonna stream 24 hours a day for 2 straight months. So maybe I better go get all the rest of my shit done and enjoy my last moments of freedom. How good will builds be for people without the expansion? There will still be S tier builds. There will still be S tier builds for people without the expansion. Don't worry. Yeah, I gotta like a camel. I gotta store all my sleep today because I don't get any anymore. Give me more videos. All Lee ever says is give me more videos and everyone go buy the new hoodies in the merch store. You guys better hope that Lee doesn't fill in for any of these shifts because all he's going to do is wear the hoodie and tell you guys to buy hoodies over and over. You're never going to have so much propaganda jammed down your throat. Every time he gets an item, he's going to say, this is a great item, but it's not as good as a Rax hoodie on the merch store. Tomorrow we dine in hell. Yeah. Lee is right. We need hoodies. Yeah, maybe we'll give away some hoodies. All right, guys. Tomorrow is the day. Man, Rob and I are the only two people streaming. No, I mean there's other streamers. I shouldn't say that, but everyone's working, everyone's sleeping, preparing for tomorrow. That's what I should be doing. Everyone's sleeping. All right, guys. Let's throw a raid over to our buddy Aaron Action RPG. I owe him 1,000 raids, so I better start. Oops. Let's show him some love. Maybe he'll play Diablo tomorrow. Where do I live? I live in Nebraska. Is there 50 Paragon levels per 100 character? Neither. You level to 60, and then there's 300 levels to grind, and you can get 300 levels on one character. Aaron Action RPG. Okay. Tomorrow we dine in hell, guys. Very, very short streams. Very short streams today and yesterday, but that's just to build up the energy. Will you be able to do it with couch co-op? If Blizzard, it needs to be able to be completed with couch co-op. If Blizzard made a multiplayer game and you can't play it with your friends sitting next to you, or a game mode, and you can't play it with your friends sitting next to you on the couch, I would consider that a complete failure. So that needs to be a thing. Redbeard, thank you so much for the prime. Subathon tomorrow, guys. Diablo 4 expansion tomorrow. I'll get some more videos out tonight. It's going to be quite juicy. Have an amazing night, guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Say hi to Aaron.